Okay, 1 2 1 2. I don't know if somebody can hear me. Let's see if I'm getting some. Is there echo? That's what I'm trying to set up my gear right now. So I just want to know if there's echo in the sound or it's like really crystal clear because I cannot hear myself. So is the sound clear? Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, so no echo. So is the video matching my my voice, my mouth moving? Okay, so now they're saying that they want. Okay, the stream settings. So I need to know if I can. Okay, so. Okay, good. Hi, everyone. Okay, I need to see myself because okay, so I see myself now. Because it's kind of difficult to see OBS and to see the YouTube live stuff happening in the chat. Well, yeah, the goal was to get started. I know I'm not perfectly set up yet to do what I want to do, but I thought I would give it a shot today just for fun. Like I mentioned in my, I don't know who is there that was in the, because there was the CRX last week, and I thought about the fact that I wanted to kind of start a streaming, try to get more people involved. I mean, inspiring people to do more programming. There's a plan to bring this more affordable Foenix version, which is the user version, I would say in a month or two. I figured that the best way to inspire people to program on it was just to do streamings about different topics. And well, actually, the topics were mostly about the idea at the first was really to create games, like past games, try to replicate a past game, at least for one level, just to cover what we can do with the graphic chips and you know, get the ball rolling. And for the first trial, I was going to use I was going to start with Jumpman. So Jumpman on the C64. So I got a level. So the next step for me, because I'm almost finished with the design of Viki 2, and actually I did some coding yesterday to do the collision system. And I thought the first level of Jumpman would be a good way to test it and to see if it works, try to make it better. But again, I think the idea is that over time, I would do some of those streams to get people going and see how it goes. And you know, I wouldn't find myself. I don't pretend to be a super awesome, super fancy programmer. If I have a level between 0 and 10 in terms of being very, you know, proficient and very good into creating code or fancy code, I'm probably a 2 or 3. I understand how the assembly language works. I just tend to be more simplistic in my ways to go around it. I usually don't do very fancy stuff. I'm really straight to the point. I like absolute way of the, like, for example, I would say that a lot of people like to put like a lot of, variable names. I mean, the variables names are good. It's just that sometimes I tend to like better to work with constants, and because it's more, I don't have to look around if I don't remember what it means later. So I tend to put more constant in my design, in my code, and sometimes it's not very good because when you want to change everything, you have to change all those different values, which is not a very good way to code. But anyway, so the idea is really to today my plan was just to try to get this thing going, and then to just load the sprites into the, well, load the bitmap, to show the bitmap, to load the different sprites and get them to see them on the screen. Yeah, so Matt, you're saying graphically we can 16 but above and more. What can the Foenix do? Is it a, well, it's a, okay, so to explain to everybody, I mean, there's no other people, but that's okay, it's just a test. So the idea here is, okay, so the Foenix, I can show you. Let me grab a board. All right, so I'll do a runner-up on the thing. I'm French, by the way, so English is my second language. I'm sure you guessed it by now. Okay, so you have the, this is the 256 Foenix, the FMX version. So let me put it in the right direction so you can see. So it's based out of a, where are you? I need to see it. Oh, it's inverted, that's why. Okay, a 65816, which is a 16-bit, mostly 8, I would say. You have the Viki2 chips, which is my design, which includes bitmaps, layers of tiles, bitmaps, and I said that before, sprites. A lot of sprites. It's all 1 byte per pixel out of lookup table. The lookup tables are all 24 bits, but there is, each color can be encoded in 24 bits, but you only have 1 byte per pixel, but you have, you can reference to 8 different lookup tables, which gives you plenty, I'm sure. Viki2 has, which is the latest design, as 4 graphic mode, 320 by 480, no, 320 by 240, 640 by 480, 800 by 600, and 300 by 400, which is basically the pixel doubling mode of the 2 frequencies I have. So you have 4 megs of memory here, and then you have the CPU. You have 4 megs of SRAM on the board, and you have Gabe here. It's called Gabe, which is the system, and also the audio. I'm sorry, I'm all inverted. It's really complicated to do this like this. So anyway, on the audio side, you have the 3 Yamaha, the OPL3, the OPN2, the OPN like Nancy, OPM, which is the 2151. You have the SN7649. So it's very complete. A lot of audio. There's a DAC. There's also a SID that we're trying to fine tune right now inside. It's an FPGA SID, but overall, a lot of memory, a lot of graphics. You can put a hard drive, ID drive on it. You have the SD card, and you have the floppy as well. So, which all work right now. So this is what the Foenix is. So like I said, I'm presently designing a more, a reduced cost version of this, because this is around $300. So I'm working on something cheaper to have a broader audience. And like I said, I think the best way for people to get interested in these things, because there's always the first round of people that are interested, the thinker, the people that want to try things. But I need to get more people interested in this by, you know, get them to see how fun it is to actually program 8-bit games on a real 8-bit platform that has a decent power, you know. So it's a 14 megahertz processor, and it's pure. It's not emulated. There's nothing emulated in there. So all the graphic engines are by layers. I'll explain that later. But fundamentally, it's a big fancy 8-bit machines. I always thought that it was like very close to be of the power and Amiga, but still 8-bit. So thank you, Matt. So yeah, so I've been working on this for the last 2 years. I've been having some colleagues with me. Peter, who's doing the kernel, who's done most of the file system. He's awesome. There's Daniel, who's been doing the IDE. So if you go on the website, you can get to the IDE on GitHub, which is a simulation of the previous version of the board. So it's it's still very good as a starting point. I put some boards on sales. Last batch of FMX I will do before I introduce the other version, which is I call it the C256U, which will have a little bit less memory on both front, which is the graphic memory and the static RAM, like the system static RAM. But I think that limitation is the mother of all creation. So, and the FMX was never meant to be produced in mass quantity, mainly because it's a lot of work, and finding those original sound chips is becoming like a real nightmare. So I tried to avoid doing this. Again, it will become this very fancy and very unique system. The U will be pretty much compatible with it completely, or 99.9% compatible. There's a machine ID on the board anyway, so if a software wants to work on one and not on the other one, then you could do it. I'm planning to plan to bring all these sound chip into the FPGA, so I guess we'll have the same sound chips. I think the OPL3 is the only one I'm going to keep around as a real chip, because they're a lot easier to find, and they're usually good, because the YM2612 in the Genesis is so much more complicated to get like a real working and pure version. Have you thought of getting David? Well, you know, me and David have a long story. David and I actually started the project because of David's request to have like somebody, you know, creating his dream computer. It's just that I think his dream and my dream were not exactly the same. We actually met in 2018 at the Portland Retro thingy in Portland. You know, the place that there's no government there anymore. Yeah, so we met, and this is, at first I think we had a lot of same ideas. I think we all do believe that having a new era of retro computing development is a great idea. I think having communities developing new stuff, that's why I always believed in. I think, you know, playing the old games is great. It's all fun and dandy now because you can have like a C64 emulation on everything. But being able to develop new things on old platform, I think there's definitely something there that needs to be. I mean, if it's just for education purpose, I think it makes total sense. And I think the Foenix will be a great platform to do this, just to learn. Because you know what, Raspberry Pi is all good and dandy, but you know, it's still a 1.2 gig or shit like this. So it's not. I think it's just not as approachable, because you always deal with virtualization, so it's never you really dealing with the machine. I believe in this idea of being able to understand the machine by able to control it to the register level. Well, at least that's what interests me the most. So to come back to David, we just came together. I think he had these thing about the FPGAs. He was trying to be a little bit more purist than most, I guess, and trying to not have FPGAs, but I think it's pretty inevitable these days if you want to have decent videos. I think he wanted to use the 816. That's what it was. That's why I used the 816. That was the primary requirement. And then he decided to, at some point, to change. But at that point, I think we were really far apart in what I wanted to do and what he wanted to do. And we just went our separate ways. I'm very much looking forward to see how David's stuff will go about. It's not easy. Even if his system seems to be a little bit simpler than mine, it's still not. It's still a lot of work to get this thing out, to make it work. And I think I have a bad taste in my mouth because early on he was saying that he was going to get stuff cheap, and it kind of destroyed my model because people came back to me, how come your stuff is so expensive? It's like, come on, I've been doing this thing for a long time and doing electronic product design for a long time. $100 for a system like he wanted to do was not even close to be respectable or even close to be realizable, like real. So for him later, a week and a half later, saying, oh, you know what, it's not going to cost $100 anymore, it's going to cost $4 and $5, that's more like it. So it was not cool of his part to do this, but you know, I think it didn't, no offense to him, but I don't think he knew better at this time, but he's learning, I guess. Anyway, so I guess my idea here is to grow my own audience. I don't want to go and pick David's. I think I'm going to get my new. I'm going to get the audience fair and square. I'm not going to go and steal it from somebody else. True. Yeah, that's true. I'm not. Listen, I'm a hardware person. I believe in hardware. I don't like emulation. I mean, I really appreciate everybody that goes back and buy those old machine and revamp them and using them. It's definitely better. But again, for me, I the idea was to get people to rekindle the idea of creating something from a machine you don't know. Everybody knows about the C64. We know it so much that we can do tricks that we never thought we could, right? So all these demo guys just discover all these fancy tricks, but there's nothing to discover anymore. So the Foenix was created in that spirit of let's create a new 80s, end of 80s, early 90s platform with its limitation, no 600 megahertz CPUs, and get people back to discover something new and give them the same feel. So I think the Foenix does include everything. I mean, you're running a little bit of code on the 7649, the sound chip, and you just gets you back in time. And I think this is priceless. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everything else is also. I mean, all those great games, big games, it's all good and dandy. I mean, Unity, they have these awesome games, but they're still not real 8-bits. So, and Unity is complicated. If you ask me, I tried. It's too virtual to me. It's too big. Anyway, so David is great. I hope he has success. I really mean it. I think we're working off two different branches. He does have a bigger audience than me. So I'll catch up, I guess, over time. I do believe that I have a little bit better machine. No offense to David on this one. But again, it addresses people that are really interested into developing something new, really. And I know there's a bunch of really cool people developing 8-bit games out there on the C64 and the old platform. Even the Atari 2600. This is great, and obviously they have an audience. So for them, it's a lot easier. It's easier to justify the effort to do this. But given a certain amount of people interested to go back into it, and just for fun, you never know. I mean, I'm trying to get a first level of Jumpman written, and the idea is to make it open source if people want to keep doing it and make it like a real game. I mean, it's really just for fun. I'm not looking for to make money or anything like this. It's really to inspire people to do more or to do just go back to the old days, discovering the old 8-bit era. All right, so like I said before, the deal here today is I'm trying to get to load my sprites or my graphic. And again, I'm starting from scratch because we can use the IDE to literally write code and dump it in the memory, which is usually the best way to go about it. Or I can load it through the file system, which I'm trying to do. So the plan today, and it's going to take many hours, is to get. I still need to do a little bit of setup here to connect to the unit that you see the screenshot right now. To be programmed on this computer because I have two computers next to each other. And so the idea is that I'm going to run the main code out of the IDE, and I'm going to load the graphical file from the SD card. And then, we can go from there. So I have my people here on YouTube, on Discord. Matt, do you have like you want to get access to the Discord? Anybody? I can put an invite here if you want. Hidden use copy button. Copy. So this is the Discord for the project. All right. So. Can you put a hand on the Foenix or maybe put something in the chat? Yeah, okay, I did that. All right. Anyway, so so I might go and come back or whatever. Like I said, I still need to figure things out here. So please bear with me today. I'm really trying. I put the camera there. I'm not sure if this is the right place. Maybe I could put it somewhere else. It's okay, Matt, if you don't want to. I'm just, for the others, if they want to be part of it. I mean, there's just like 9 people viewing, so I don't know. They might want to go and check it out. I'm going to move the cam to see if it's better. See a little bit more cleavage. It's going to be way more fun for you guys. I just don't want to, you know, see too much of the house or the apartment. Well, it's not a house. All right, so a little bit of microphone. It's always good. It's very trendy. It's because I can show you. I have a tablet here, so I have my graphic tablet, and this is the coffee machine. I guess I will be using a lot eventually. All right. The cord on these cameras are very short. All right. Oh, this is better. Okay, I think we're good. We'll leave it this way. Okay, so the microphone is a little bit in my way, but we'll try to make it work. Hold on. It's a big work in progress. All right, there you go. So many things working at the same time. Still can hear me right? Yeah, I guess. Okay, so the people on Discord. All right, so everybody sees me. Maybe I'm not gonna watch the camera that much because the reason to put the camera on the side was really because most of the time I will have my hand here on the keyboard. Another question, guys, on the stream: do you see the text clearly of the, you know, Visual Studio Code? Okay, not really. Not really. You don't see it clearly. I mean that part. Oh, you're very delayed with me. It's kind of distant. Okay. Okay, there is a delay. I want to see how much delay I have. I can see clearly on my screen. Again, I'm talking about the text, not the inlay of the FMX. All right, I'll go on and okay. So, like I said, there's another thing I need to do for 2 seconds. I have the graphic card. I need to download the. Okay, I'll do that offline. Because, like I said, I'm setting up a new computer, so it's like there's a lot of stuff missing. Oh, damn it. Okay. All right, so I'm going on here to download the latest version of download zip. I'm going to open it. so I'm going to install it in, hold on, projects, no, actually here. Yes to all. I'm going to create a link. All right. A lot of stuff here. Foenix ID, bin release, new shortcuts. All right, desktop. All right, where this thing appeared. Where are you? All right. All right. Shut that down. There. Okay, so this is good. All right, so where are we? Oops. Oops. Okay, I'm listening to myself. Okay, so I can, in terms of I think I can increase the preference settings. I'm going to put it to 24. I think it should be big enough now, hopefully. All right, so the only thing left I have to do is to see if the Foenix is starting. How is it possible? Because I have my, where is it? Looking for my links. Again, guys, it's for anybody coming in, it's just playing around, testing everything. It's not going to be anything very fancy or very prepared. I'm very unprepared. I'm just playing right now. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. Where are you? Foenix ID, bin, release. And I'm going to pin this down. All right. All right, so this is how the Foenix is when you boot it. It's like this. And you have the different emulator windows, which I usually don't use. So the thing is, do I have the drivers? That's the thing. So I need to connect myself to it and see if I have the drivers. All right, so give me 2 seconds. I'll connect myself to it. Let's see if I have a connector here. All right, let's see if we have the driver for it. do I have the driver for it? Doesn't seem to recognize it for some reason. Oh, you're welcome for the text. Why is it not working? Let's see if I connect myself here instead of... Oh, that's better. I hear a sound. Okay. So now if I start... Okay, so I should have a connection. Yay! So if we... will it work? Did I program? Yeah, maybe it will. Okay, let's try something. I'm going to run something. We'll try it. A demo. This one here, this one here. Oh, wow. It's all weird. Let's do that again, wow. Wow, it's even weirder. Woohoo! I need to update the FPGA. Hold on. All right, so let's reset. Yeah, the results should be a lot better. All right, I'll send it again. It's very, very pernicious. What's going on? What am I doing? It's supposed to be more beautiful than that. Wow. Okay, now I look like an idiot. That thing is supposed to work. Oh, wow. Okay. So much for that, right? Okay, so let's do that again. Is that the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. Something gets all... Thanks, man. You're really sweet. You know, the graphics are good. I don't know why there's this thing. Anyway, let's not lose time on this because I'll look at it like an idiot, but no, it's... Let's go back into the Jumpman project. I think it's more... Okay, so I need to reset it. I need to learn to reset my stuff. Okay, what's going on? Okay, something is not working right. What did I do? What did I do? No, that's the thing when you're doing like a lot of development. You're changing things and then all of a sudden you're trying to run your own code and your old code and then all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore. Okay, let me see. Jumpman X. that's the one I created. Oh, I know why. I know exactly why. Because it was designed to be ran from, where's the main? Okay, so because when you're running, because we've developed this execution type file like PRG on the C64, we created a PGX for the Foenix. So the PGX is an executable file. So when you're like, I can actually do it here. So if I go there, so as I do brun, I know it's not super big. I can make it bigger. Let me see. So if I do brun, I do Jumpman. Actually, I'm going to say @s. So this is the SD card, Jumpman.pgx. Oops. Wrong button. So you see it works. So this is just the beginning, right? So I need to load everything else that comes after that. But just to give you an idea, but normally I could run it from here through the reset vectors. So what I would need to do is remove the comma here. Well, not the comma, semicolon, I guess. And then that means that I would set up the reset vectors for the start here. And yeah, I just need to recompile it, which I'm doing now. And then I go back into the Foenix uploader. And then I say Jumpman, and then it's going to start. So that's the reason why. Because, if you run one, you cannot run with the other. So yeah, so now since we're going to do it this way, then we're just going to, I need to get a machine to be closer to my hand. I have plenty in the back there. I should use one in the back. Okay, all right, so here's the deal. I think I'm going to go get a beer soon because I'm parched and it's hot here. But anyway, so anybody who's interested, sorry, I'm looking at the whole thing. Anyway, I need to get back my, hold on guys. I had my windows with the chat and everything and it just disappeared. So I'm just gonna go on my channel, I guess. YouTube, your channel. And then video, channel discussion. No, channels. And then we can start. No, channels. And then, yeah. I'm going to listen to myself, I guess. Okay. All right. So, so if I go through the code, what I'm doing right now, I'm going to reduce this little fella. Okay. So the idea right now, what I want to do is I created a bitmap that is like the level number 1 of Jumpman. It was a lot easier for me to do in bitmaps because A, I have a lot of memory, and B, it's a lot easier to manage than to do it in tiles. Maybe later I can do it in tiles, but it was a lot easier to load a 320 by 240 bitmap of the level and then put sprites and stuff. So what I have here is only the skeleton of how to load a file using the kernel calls that Peter created. So I know that right now I'm trying to load a file and it's a fake file. And last week I was kind of into a mood of let's do something cool. So the idea was really to show the idea was to, or is still to go through the sequence of how Jumpman is going to start. So you have the intro screen you saw, Then it goes into this loading of stuff. Usually the C64 was pretty slow. Actually, if I use the floppy, it's pretty slow, so it would be a good way to actually have the delay it needs. Then I would have, the next step would be to jump into the Epic's welcome screen with the music, and that will come later. And then you have the intro with the menu and everything, which I really don't care for right now. So what I would like to bring it down to is to load the bitmap file in memory, do a VDMA transfer of the file in memory, and then putting in the graphical memory. That'd be the first step. And then load each individual sprite, because there's a lot of them. Actually, I can show in Up Sprites, which is, nope, so that's, you see, this is the level I have created. It's a bit different, so to see that people, I didn't copy it, I reproduced it, yes. I think this is layout, no, so that's a new layout I was going to do, because I wanted to create my own Jumpman version at some point, like a C256 version. Where did I, okay, what is this? No, this is a test pattern. Again, it's very unedited, non-prepared. Sorry about that. Although I'm sure everybody goes through this on regular level, in your regular life, I guess. Okay, so Jumpman Sprite. So this is, I think this is it. Okay, so the sprites in the Foenix are 32 by 32. So, and in the pixel doubler, then they become like really big. So you need to do them smaller. For the yeah, new Jumpman would be good, like well, I called it the Jumpman Junior, Jumpman Senior, the Rise of the Millennials. Like you have this young Jumpman trying to find his old daddy somewhere in the maze, and that was the base idea. So we'll see later. So if I go through the different, so I got those one by one, and so if I go through all the different sequences, so there's 26 of them, or 29 of them. So the appearing, the moving, the jumping. So yeah, so these have been translated into BMPs. I'll have to transfer them into a raw file, which I'm going to use GIMP for. So even we could start with that at this point. So I guess we can find those in, I think they're in document, and that, this is in Necro? No, they're not in Necro. Yes, they are in Necro. There was Necromancer I wanted to do as well. I have a lot of projects, I guess. Okay, so these, I'll put them somewhere else. I'll put them in the project file. C215X project, Jumpman. So graphic source, graphic assets, I will put Jumpman sprites. Of course, you have no idea. It's this you have ain't seen nothing yet. For the hardware, Matt, you can have 64 sprite, 4 layers of tiles, scrolling, bitmaps. It's pretty insane, and the collision system on top of it. Anyway, all right. So what I would do normally is I would go get GIMP, and it's going to be a bit tedious. The best way and the fastest way to work with the Foenix when it comes down to hardware, or to load the graphical files, is usually to have your stuff indexed, so 1 byte per pixel, and usually, obviously in that case, all the sprites will have the same palette, and the best file that I found is usually to use the raw in GIMP. Because raw, when you export in raw, you have a binary file which is pure binary, and you have the lookup table next to it. So you can literally load the lookup table directly in the lookup table, and you can load the binary directly in memory, and then say, okay, this is my sprite, for example. That's what we're going to do today. So it's really about, this is the simplest thing. So I don't have to deal with PNGs or BMPs. It's really pure binaries, which is always the way I like things. So what I would do normally, or if I had only one file, I guess, so I'm going to load these things, although I'm still not sure if they are the right size, because if everything will be doubled up. Anyway, I could probably put the loading files in. Yeah, I can probably process all the files first and load the files, and I can, if they're too big, then I can deal with them later. Okay, so what I would do is I would load all these little puppies in here. I hope. I think I'm gonna get the more audience if I can get those sprites to move, but we'll start loading them first, which was really the goal here today. All right, so we have here it's a 32 by 32. For transparency in Wiki, you need to have your first pixel 0 to be 0. It's always black, so you don't put any value. It's ignored anyway. The first lookup table, the first byte 0 means transparency. And since I have like a tile system, not like a tile system, but a layer system, then obviously the transparency, propagate from the top to the bottom. And just to give an idea, the way it works really is you have like the very outmost layer, the closest, you have a layer of sprites. And then you have a bitmap layer, which is BM0. And then you have a sprite interleaving. And then you have tile 1. And then you have a sprite interleaving. And you have like tile 2. And then you have sprite interleaving. And then you have sprite 3. And another fourth layer of tile. And then finally you have one layer of sprites. And then you have a background. And you have another sprites. So basically from the top to bottom, all those sprites, you can put sprites in between all these different layers. So that way you can have different kind of animation, but it does, in terms of, I'm working on the collision system right now, and one of the problem I have is that within the same line or within the same layer, there's no way I can actually, or hardware-wise, actually tell if two sprites are colliding together. So, which means that the first 2 layers of tiles will be 2 layers of the sprites will be useful to have like the protagonist on one layer and the antagonist on the other layer. So you can have a collision. I can do a collision in between layers, but within sprites within the same layer, I can't. I mean, I can do it in software because I'm going to move. I could have a box and find we could do that in software, but in terms of hardware, there's no way I can do it the way the graphic pipeline has been constructed. So that's going to be a bit of an issue, but I'm sure people will manage. All right, so I would start with the first one. I guess that's the first one, although that guy should be here. Why are you not there? Doesn't matter, really. Okay, so what I would do normally is just, it's going to be like, I have to do this like 30 times. I wish I could do them all. Can I do them all? Probably not. So the raw, so it's going to create a dot data, which is the raw, and I know the file is 32 by 30. The graphic is 32 by 32, and it will output a PAL file, which is the palette, which is usually like if I do this one, Then it will ask me, so you need to do it like a standard RGB, and you need to say that it's a BMP style, and you just export. There you go. So that's one done. So I just needed to do it like 20 more times. If I do this, will it know that it's a raw? Yes. Okay, next. Oh, before I keep going, sometimes okay, I think I'm good. Yes, I'm good, because sometimes they're going to save the palette in 16-bit, which I think includes the transparency, which is weird. Anyway, so all right, so we are at number 3 here. We're going to do data. BMP style, yes. I think the shortcut is export is Shift Control E. Sorry, it's going to be boring for a minute. Shift Control E. Shift Control E. Okay, 5. I'm sure there's a way to create a script, but I'm not a script person, so I never did any. So I guess good old by hand will suffice today. Eight. Like it the good old-fashioned way. I'll try to put more sprite in. All right, so we're at 11. No, I didn't do 10. We'll do 10. Are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. This is fascinating. A script will be needed in the future. So $12, $13. It just keeps on watching. Yes, that's true. But I'm sure you'd like to see stuff. So I'm all about action, but there's always like a lot of you know, house cleaning, you know, housekeeping to do before, you know. Without peril, you conquer without glory. It would be fun, Matt, if there was somebody else chatting with you, but apparently you're the only one. BMP data, so 16, almost there, I guess. $17. 14. Maybe I should... Yep. Yeah, it's a big house. Doesn't look like it. I'm gonna find myself in this dead end at some point. I'll be like, oh my god, I did it all wrong. No, not the graphic conversion. How I'm going to go about doing the... But actually, there's a lot of stuff for me to learn in there. So it's not like I'm showing people something I already know. I'm going to learn the same way people do learn. Like, for example, like the jumping part. I remember when I was really young, when I was playing with the Commodore and I was programming it, I was trying to do things, but it's been a long, long time. So I asked people on Discord this week, oh, how do we go about doing a jump? So I got like 2-3 ways to actually do it, without getting into the using the floating point engine in the I bought a package called Sprite, but that I use Sprite, Daniel, to do this. So to create the thing, but I don't think the output in raw. Anyway, so keep going. Yeah, so I'm really learning along the way. So yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to say that I didn't want to use the floating point engine in the Foenix because there's a big 32-bit IEEE floating point engine in the product as well, for anybody's desire to do fancy stuff. There's obviously the fixed point math block as well that I'm sure a lot of people have been using. Well, a lot. I mean, we have to be. All right, so Dan, you'll have to get in there, and you'll have to. Dan is one of the person who actually did the Foenix ID, by the way. So Daniel, that's the Daniel that is doing the work on the Foenix ID, which has been super awesome. But Daniel has definitely have a proclivity to do the games. He's curious like me, I guess. He wants to do stuff that he never managed to do before, and he's been doing a lot of musical stuff. So he's been starting to work on the P-SID, the player SID, and because I found the track to the first demo page at the beginning, like when there's the Epix thing, there's a tune, and I found the P-SID file for it. So I thought that at some point, if we could make it work, that would be awesome. So we're at 26. My God, almost there. Are we there yet? Yes, are we there yet? Okay, 26, 27. Are we there yet? Nah. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Okay, almost there. That's the last one. Yay! I know Daniel is my biggest fan. Daniel and Peter. There was Mike who was doing the GUI system for it. Daniel, what did you do to come back to be able you sell your soul? Okay, so all right. So something I could do, so to show to Daniel, because these all these things exist. Something I could do early on just for fun, although just for fun, that's a okay. So what I will do is we'll do a path sprite 0. We'll replicate this. I will have to put those files in the SD card at some point. So the first one will be sprite1 .data. Yes, that's the one. So it's going to be at. Actually, I don't want to put any at because, well, you know what? No, I'll keep it on the SD card for now. There's no point into, because that's the thing. If you don't specify the drive you want, then obviously it will keep the default one. So if you do an access to the floppy, if you access the floppy, then it will try to go fetch the floppy. The floppy is kind of slow, which is kind of cool. I love the noise. There's still stuff that we need to fix with that. But anyway, so we're gonna do this sprite number 1. We'll do this like a lot. Maybe I should put some music in the background, make it maybe like some Bach to make it more interesting for you guys. Otherwise, you just hear the click-a-tick, click-a-tick, click-a-tick. Matt, are you a fanboy of David's? Are you a spy? Well, you know, might as well interact with my audience at this point to see their story. If you just happen to fall here by mistake. Oops. Like I was saying before, there's something I could do is also join all these files part of the binary itself. And again, I want to do the loading part because, you know, I'm crazy and I feel like having trouble. Otherwise, I could all put them part of the binary, include them in the binary, and just load them up right away. But, you know, one thing at a time. Okay, so we're at 17. Again, I'd like to repeat for the newcomers that, you know, I'm not by any means a professional assembly programmer. There's a gazillion ways to do things. I'm going to do it my way, which is, you know, the way. Anybody who's doing design knows exactly what it means. I'm updating. So Danielle, you said updating C256 Tetris with my own clicky keyboard while you're copy pasting. Yeah, yeah. Daniel has been into this you know, fever of updating his Tetris game from Viki 1 to Viki 2, which has a lot of changes. So, but I think he's been pretty successful so far, which is great. Okay, oops, no, I'm good actually. So this one, 94, so 20, 94. I don't know, I must be drunk. We'll have to go smoke a joint later. Well, maybe, Joel Dude, it's maybe your time to get involved in something more fun and closer to home. And, you know what, a lot of example. All right, I'm getting high on my perch here. Okay, so what I will do now is I'm going to write some code to actually go from the text screen that we are in when we see the demo starting, and we'll probably jump immediately to the graphical interface. I also need to port the original graphic file. It's probably here. Let's see some view. Large icon. Is there like a page here? Where did I store this thing? Maybe in my pictures. There you go. Is that the one? Yay! That's the no. That's the no. That's not the right. That's the original. Okay, so hold on. I know that if I go in Sprite, Okay, so this is the thing I'm going to do. Save as save as. I will put that in D, I think. Program set to 56 Foenix, Jumpman's in your code, source, graphic assets, and we're going to create a new, which is going to be the level one, I don't know, level one what? Bitmap. And that's going to be Jumpman level 1 PNG. I'm going to do it in BMP because the PNG is saved with transparency, so the index is 16-bit, and it's very annoying. So if I do it in BMP, then it saves it in, yeah, it removes the alpha channel, which is perfect for me. So Matt, you say I'm not a spy, like what you do, I do. Like there's a lot of different retro machine out there. I don't think I'd call myself a fanboy of David. Okay. No, it's because it seems that there's like a cult. I got some troll coming at my and posting some really interesting stuff for me. So I thought that, you know, I'm not part of their cult. So been watching this first on the mailing list. Yeah. But well, welcome, Jolt Dude. Match. I don't know if I was said I was interested in the Commander 16. No, I think it's, they all have, like even the Mega 65, it has its, everybody has their own angles. I don't think I think there's a little bit of competition out there, which is great. I think it's a sane, I think it's normal. We all want to capture people's attention. I mean, Mega 65 got a lot of attention in Europe, in US as well, but probably not as much. David has a head start into having a huge, sorry to say, fucking audience, which is great. Is machine, and this is not me talking, it's really a lot of people that came along at some point that were a bit disappointed in the outcome of where it's going, because at some point, and again, it's not about bad mouthing him or anything. I think it's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to see it. I want to be fair. I don't want to be like a mean jerk or anything like this. I'm just saying that there were some people that were disappointed because things have changed, and it was not. It was like the consensus was like at that point where it was going, like might as well get a C64. So I don't know. I never really got into the Foenix development. I never got in the Facebook groups. I was too busy with my stuff. I did look, to be honest and fair. I've been peeking once in a while what's going on, and I'm really interested where it's going to go, but it's certainly not what it was supposed to be from the beginning. And I think this is part of any creative process where you start with an idea and then you move and you realize. And coming from a group, I mean, David is like, that's I'm sure this is a new for him. I think he's done great with his game and everything. I think he had a lot of experience for this, but when it came down to develop product, I don't think it was that's the part I'm stronger. I have this is more a strong suit for me, but again, I don't want to diminish his importance in his work. But I feel that every project of its niche, and it's great. I just try to, like I said, he's closer to be a C64. I'm closer to be an Amiga, so I attract a different crowd. It's not the same thing. I like I said, my goal is really to get more, even if the number of units in the market right now is not a lot. I'm really looking forward to increase that and get more people interested to develop on something new. And again, because I think this is the knack of the whole experience back in the day was about. And the fun part was the fact that all these machines were, I mean, the people in the companies were fighting about, oh, we need to have something standard so we don't have to redesign the same thing over and again. But anybody can see that the fact that there was so many different machines was also a very positive aspect of things, because you could learn different things on different processors. And there was something, I thought there was something pretty interesting. And it's like anything that starts, you have diversity and then everything gets collided together and standardized together and then becomes fucking boring. And that's what we got today. Like, you know, Linux and Windows and, you know, Mac, which is another Linux. So yeah, it became boring, standardized, and it's easier. Everything is Lego style development for everybody to use it. And if you're from the old generation, then you understand that if you've seen the past, then what you see today is like, ugh, 20 level of virtualization is just like not. And you would think that, I'm sure everybody who's been were there when the C64 came out and have had a thought at some point and wondered, how would Windows be if it was written in assembly language, and we wouldn't have to increase or get those bigger and bigger and bigger processor. We just have to become less lazy. But anyway, just the fact that demo people back in the day developed all these super games and found ways to do tricks that nobody would ever imagine is the essence that's what I'm talking about. This idea that you're limited, you're going to figure it out. Yeah. No, these new version are really cool. I really like it. I mean, like I said, I'm really a hardware person, so I don't really get into the whole emulation thing, software emulation. It's great that we have emulation. It's a great way to preserve things. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm for preservation's sake, for the old generation or the younger generation to have access to it, I think emulation is great. But when it comes down to the machinery, or to have actually the experience of programming on the machine, I think having the real thing is so much better than I have a fucking Raspberry Pi. And sorry again, I'm really listen, I applaud the fact that the Raspberry Pi really democratized the whole people, developing. Yeah, the FPGAs, yeah. Well, but FPGAs, they have their own thing as well. But I think the Raspberry Pi really got a lot of people going. But the dark side of this is that nowadays, if you want to hire an engineer, there's a lot more people sending in their resume and saying, well, my background is I developed with a Raspberry Pi. It's like, okay, really? I've seen a lot of this, like tons of resumes, like not real good background, but hey, I designed with a Raspberry Pi, which should be good enough to justify you as a software engineer. I don't mean to be offensive. I just mean like, what happened to the good old, I work and I've done this stuff for a long time. Anyway, so let's move on. So what I'm going to do is, what I would like to do, actually, let me see. I will do some copy and paste of stuff that I wrote yesterday. Let's say, so I'm going to load a file here, which is the, yesterday I was working on this demo that we didn't work properly. I don't know why. I did some change between yeah. Okay, so I was writing the code I showed before, like the tiles and sprites and everything. I did some changes after on the FPGA. That's probably why it doesn't work anymore. So I need to figure out why. But I did write a lot of codes to have some graphics. So what I'm going to do is that I don't want to, have to retype everything. So I'm going to get those includes in my project. So the Jumpman, I think they're already there. So yes, I think SDMA, VDMA, Bitmap, Sprites, I think the tile is missing. Is it there? The tile is missing. But anyway, I don't need it. Okay, so the splash screen. So I will call this, I will copy it all. Yeah, that was my little demo thingy. Okay, so I'll put in here. I will put it here. So what I'm going to do here is copy and paste. So I will do level one bitmap load. So at first I put my, if anybody who knows the 65-816, you can switch your accumulators with 8 or, move from 8 to 16-bit. And you can do the same thing for X and Y. So you can switch them from, 8-bit or 16-bit wide. This is probably the thing that you know, people hate the most. So what I do here is that I set the accumulator in 8-bit mode. I'm going to write it down, but I'm not going to do that. So these are macros, by the way. So set A for short, set XL for long. So set the X and Y in 16-bit mode. So if we go, so what I'm going to do now is enable the bitmap, and I will tell the bitmap, I will load the, let's see, I'm going to load the include file so you can see the define file. So the bitmap is here. So I'm going to put it in the next window next door. Hold on, can I open a new pane? Split right. All right, so the bitmap control register is located at AF0. So everything that is Viki is all the Viki registers, everything that has to do with graphics is located at AF 0000 to AF FFFF. So 64K, it takes a page completely to have all the registers. So there's three, like I said, 3/4 blocks: the bitmap block, the sprite block, and the tile block. And there's 2 layers of bitmap, so you can have one completely at the bottom, one completely at the top. So basically what you have to do is to control in the bitmap right now, it's very simple. You enable the bitmap because you have a control registers that control the blocks. So you have to enable the block, but within the block, you have also an enable in the control registers that says, hey, turn that layer on. And then within the same register, the control register, you specify the lookup table that you want the bitmap layer to load the color palette from. So far we're using the same palette on both cases. If I remember well, we'll see later. Then you specify the address in the video RAM, okay? Because you have 4 megs in RAM, 4 megs in the CPU space, which goes from 0000, 6 zeros to 3F FFFFF, which is the four first meg of the memory map. When the CPU is writing something in the video memory, it's going to write it at B0 0000. So this is, I'm going to write it down here just for people to understand. I should have like a pad where I can draw. I'll put that in at some point. Just a note here, I'll erase it after that. So the SRAM memory is from 0000 to 3F FFFF. Then you have the Viki registers reg at, whoops, I'm missing a 0 here. So at AF 000 to AF FFFF. Then, oops. Then you have the VRAM, which is located at B0 to FE, no, EF, which is 4 meg here. So this is the FMX version. The U version will have only 2 megs. People want cheap. Well, we have to cut down on memory. Okay, so this is from the CPU perspective. The CPU perspective. But CPU perspective. So when we're working from the CPU, it's the VRAM is mapped within that range. So if you write the value there, if you want to write a pixel in the VRAM, then you would go and say, okay, my block of data is there. But if you're setting any Viki registers for Viki to use, then you use the offset 0, because Viki's memory range starts from 0 to 3FFF. So from Viki perspective, the VRAM is from our perspective, VRAM is always from 0, oops, 0 to 3F. So this is an important concept to realize and to understand, is that so when you program the VDMA, for example, because there's a block of a DMA that you can use to deal with the VRAM, and there's a SDMA that is used to deal with the SRAM. So when you're making a reference to a starting or destination address in the SRAM, the SDMA, then you make it part of the CPU perspective. When you're dealing with the VDMA, you always work with the Wiki perspective, all right? And when you want to transfer SRAM to VRAM, then you have to program one and the other, and then you start VRAM, you start SRAM, the VDMA, the SDMA, and then there's a pipe in between each of them. So you define, let's say you want to, we'll do it later, but let's say I want to transfer my bitmap from SRAM to VRAM, then I'm going to program the source in the SRAM. I'm going to say that it's going to be transferred to VDMA, and then the VDMA controller will say the destination will be in the VRAM, but it's always from the perspective of Wiki. So super important. So now if we go back there, I'll leave this there. So if I go here in my new code, sorry for the scrolling part. Okay, so level bitmap load. I'm going to say, yes, I'm enabling this. We'll deal with the controller register later, but this is really about the bitmap block 1, which is the one in the back. So I'm going to say that the beginning of the screen memory, the bitmap memory, will be 0, which is literally at the beginning of the memory. All right, so it's all 0. So this is the low, medium, high. It's always 24-bit. And what I'm doing here is that I'm turning the border off. So I don't want 32 pixels of border around. So I want a full 320 by 240. I'm setting the color of the background on when your graphic mode to 0. So when, let's say, for example, you have 3 or 4 layers of graphics. So sprite, tiles, sprites, and bitmap. If all, let's say for one specific pixels, all the pixels are 0, then the color that will show behind, if it's also transparent for the bitmap in the back and there's no sprite in the back, the color that will show is the color of the background. So there's only one color, but that color can be a 24-bit color. So anything you want. That case, if there's no color, there's transparency, there's nothing, it's going to be black. Finally, here is the setting up of the control register. So the control register, this is where you're, let's say I'm going to load the Wiki to def that is not final yet. So the Wiki register, master control register low, you will have the, I'm not hiding anything, okay. You have the text mode, and the text mode memory is within Wiki. So the text memory is inside Wiki. So they're completely separated from the VRAM. The color memory for the text is also separated. Okay, so they're completely independent, which is kind of cool because it allows me to overlay the graphical engine graphic and actually have the text mode overlay the graphic engine. So you can literally put your text mode enabled, and so if you want to have like debug information and everything showing on screen while you're running your code in the back, you can actually do it, which is really, really, really cool. So you have the text mode, you have the text mode overlay, and then you enable the graphic mode. So the graphical mode here, this is to enable the whole system. Then you enable the block. You say, hey, I want to have bitmap here. I want to use bitmap in this. Because the best is always to turn off the things you don't use, because I have a certain bandwidth that I need to transport and to go fetch all the data that I need to put on screen. So the more, for example, right now I'm limiting 32 sprite in one row, but I could, if I wanted, to consider that if the bitmap is off, since I don't need to go fetch a bitmap, then there's a little bit of bandwidth left, so I could increase the number of the sprites to be displayed to 48, for example, because I have more time. So this is something I was thinking about doing. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but this is something that could be useful if people want to really have more tiles or more. But there's always a sacrifice. So then the tile map is the same thing, and there's the gamma table. For example, right now we have the gamma table on. I can, with a dip switch on the board, turning off, so it's going to be really dark. So this, depending on the screen you're dealing with, LCD, so you can turn, and you can turn it in software as well, although I'm not sure if this is actually activated in the FPGA. I need to look into it. And finally, you can literally disable the video pipeline so you can have a full bandwidth to transfer your stuff. You're literally turning the display off, and you're trying to download everything. Otherwise, the data is mainly transported with the VDMA during the vertical blanking, and whatever is left at the end of the capture of the information. So there's most of it is usually at the beginning of the frame. So this is most of the VDMA taking place. And finally, there was a new register that showed up in the Wiki 2, which is the master control register high. And in this one, then you need to, if you want to go in 800 by 600 mode, then you actually, if you want to put 800 by 600, you put this bit 2 on. And if you want to have double, which means that you want to reduce the resolution by half, which means doubling every pixels, then you enable the other one. So that's why I was saying at the beginning, you have 640 by 480, 320 by 240, you have 800 by 600. This is mostly for GUI work, GUI stuff. And also you have the, you divide it by 2, so 300 by 400, which I think would be the sweet spots for games. You know, not too small, not too big, a little bit more room. I think that mode will be kind of a winner. And then we get into the other registers, but I don't want to waste too much time on this. So let's go back here. So what I'm doing here is to enable the graphic mode, enable the sprites. I'll keep it on for now, and enable the bitmap. I put that in the control register, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I want it into 320 by 240. So 320. By default, when it's 0, it's 640 by 480. Putting 2 here will make it in 320 by 240. I put that. So when I reach this place, that means that my bitmap has been set. The color background has been set. I decided that the lookup table that I wanted to have was lookup table 1. And what I need to do now, or what I would need to do, and this is something I might do now just for the sake of making work, is to incorporate the bitmap with the binary itself, and then download it and try to see if it loads. So I might want to do this now. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to load the PNG or the BMP that I created. I'm going to create a raw again. I'm going to change directories. Okay, so D, C256 Foenix, Jumpman, senior code, graphic assets, level 1 bitmap. I'm going to load this. Okay, where are you, baby? Okay, there you go. So Control Shift E. Was it Control Shift E? Yes. I'm going to put data, export it in raw, BMP style. So which means that if I go here in the Foenix Jumpman, senior code, graphic assets. Okay, so 75K, which seems to be the case. Hold on, let's calculate that. Calculator. 320 by 240. That's about right. Divided by 1024, I guess. Yep, that's it. So we have the good dimension and the palette is the right size because it's 4 values and 256 bytes. Okay, so I'm going to copy the name here. And what I'm going to do is go back here. I'm just going to, again, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Come on, be nice with me. I'm just trying to make things easier. Okay. Okay. Here. Okay, so here I should have like graphic file loading. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat and use that stuff here. Just going to change the destination address. So I'm going to put it in the main for now. I don't want to bother myself with, you know, too much. Okay. I'm also loading the C64 bin because by default they're not loaded. Well, I don't use the C64. I try to stay away from everything that is copyrighted Commodore. All right, so what I'm going to do is not give any definition for this, any specific location. I just want it to be there. I'm going to call them splash screen, or I should call them like level 1 screen. Level 1 screen. I'll go get the name again. I think it's in... Oh, wow. Did I use the same name twice? Wow. What are the odds? Okay, so I'm in graphic assets. Okay, so this is all good. Okay, so I will go back up. Now, so JP level 1 screen. So what I'm doing here is loading with a simple loop to load the lookup table as is. The format is exactly the same. You just have to load it up. 1K, that's it, done deal. Now, I'm not going to load any sprite palette. I'm not there, I don't need this. So I'm going to remove this. I'm just going to change the name to make them a little bit more jumpy. Okay, so that I can remove, I guess. Okay. What I can do now, so I'm going to remove the stuff that I don't need. So here, we're going to implement this yeah, I can give you a rundown, 2 minutes. Welcome. It's 2 a.m. Are you going to be here for a while? Okay, so what is this about? Well, hold on. My stomach is doing some growling. Okay, so what is this about? Well, I don't know how much you know about the Foenix. Foenix is a retro platform. akin to an Amiga, but 8-bit, a lot of graphics, a lot of sound. I don't want to spend too much time repeating myself, but I've been developing this thing for a couple of years. In June, I kind of let everybody know that I was going to kind of stop because I was kind of tired of the complaining. And then I took a break. I've advanced my development of the Viki chip, which is the graphical engine. I'm almost finished. Since it's called a Foenix, I thought it was very appropriate to rise from its ashes. So this is what I'm going for right now. So ultimately what I'm doing is that I want to do a lot of streamings about how to design a game with the Foenix. Well, I mean, many, go through every aspect of it, which is to do the graphic, to do sound, but specifically on the unit. I'm looking forward to design, or I'm in the process right now to create the C256U version, which is a cheaper, more compact, because when I designed that board, I gave myself some restriction. I wanted to look like a board made in 1990s. But now the U version needs to be really cost effective. So I would integrate everything together in one FPGA. Still exactly compatible, perfectly the same, just smaller and cheaper. And just to spread the word and get more people to enjoy the fun and of developing games or any application on a real 8-bit CPU running at 816-bit because it's a 65-816 on a 14 megahertz CPU with plenty of memory, plenty of medium that you can store on, floppy, SD card, although the U version won't have the floppy, but SD card and hard drive. Just for people, really the base is really to get people excited about programming on a new platform they don't know anything about, because we just know everything about everything of all those old platforms. So this is really the idea. So I think the best way to promote the platform is to really show people how to go about doing something. And I think with examples, it makes a lot of sense. So what I'm planning to do now is to do a bunch of streams how to create one level of Jumpman. I'll do one, and then when it's done, then I can jump into another game that exists that I would try to replicate. I'll do that for a while, I guess, till I decide to do my own. I wanted to do my own version of the Jumpman, but it would be a little bit more fancy, although I could get this going as well. So I really want to do more live, get a better audience, a bigger audience, and because I think the Foenix has a lot to offer, and I think we just need to show the way, and that's what I'm doing. So today I'm trying to load some files, but before I want to see the files, I want to see the files on the screen before loading them, so at least I know my bitmap will be fine. So the only thing I need to do afterward is just load the file where it needs to be in SRAM for it to work. So like I was explaining, so I did some copy and paste of code that I already have. So the first aspect is to load the lookup table in the lookup table that we want to use. We're going to use the lookup table number 1. There's 8 of them. They're defined into the Viki defined file here. So where are you? Yeah, here it is. So graph 0, graph 1, all these are lookup tables. There are separate lookup tables for the text because the text mode is a bit different in terms of color. It's not 1 pixel. It's not 1 byte per pixel. It's actually a nibble. The nibble gives you access to 16 color for the foreground, 16 color for the background, but those 16 color can be programmed out of a palette of 24 bits. So you have access to 60 million color, but you can only have 16 at a time, or 16 on foreground and 16 on the background at a time. So that's the drawback of the text mode. That's the unfortunate event. And I think the other restriction is the mouse itself. The mouse only have gray levels. So it's just a black and white, and it's gray. Okay, so what I want to do is I will want to, if I was really, so before I do, what I'm going to do is before loading, so what I'm going to do is before going into loading the image in video RAM from SRAM through a DMA, and then when the DMA works, we can use the loading of the file to the memory location we want, I'm going to do it with a simple loop, not even an MVN, which is an instruction specific for move. I'm just going to do it like the good old-fashioned way, which is the I'm going to put some, I'm sure there's a way to put some bookmark in there. I've not worked with this for a long time. I used Atom before. I thought this one was cooler. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So first loop, I am transferring the lookup table. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer. So I'm going to clear X. When I was talking about in the beginning that I like to do stuff simply, that's the kind of simple I'm talking about. Yeah, well, rethink. Well, my life in general has been rethought because I'm about to leave the work I'm doing now. So I might as well do something with the Foenix because I'm not sure if I want to go back to do what I was doing before. So we'll see how things are going to go from there. So in a week from now, I'll be on my own, so not working anymore. So which give me a lot of time to do these streamings, so which is cool. All right, so what I'm going to do is literally put it in the. So this is, by the way, this is 64 tasks, which is the assembler we're using. We've been using in the team, at least in the alpha team. And the @L means that we want the long addressing mode, like the 24-bit addressing mode, just so you know. So I'm going to go into V0. This is from CPU perspective. I'm going to increment X. Out of bad habit, I'm going to compare to 0, which is really not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a scared little, bunny. So I don't want to do something stupid and waste 20 hours finding out, oh, I didn't put a compare, it didn't work, and when in reality I didn't need it, but I'll do it anyway. So I'll put like BM, GP, BM branch, I'll put it here. Thank you very much. So I know this will transfer 64K. But the 320 byte has 75K, so I need to do another one after that. Which means that I will clear X again, although it should be, I won't take any chances. And this is the level of, so this would be, okay, so let's use the calculator. Okay, damn it. Okay, 320 by 240 minus 65, 36. We have this, and we want to put this into, let's put that in memory store. Okay, so I want to go into programmer, memory return, merde. Okay, 11 to 64, I want this in X, so 2C0. So I'm going to go to 2C0. No. I'm going to be at B1. And I'm going to finish at 2C0. No, I'm doing on the wrong line. So B1, so we've done 64K, and we need to get to 2C0. We start from 0, so branch, we'll call this one branch 0, we'll call it this branch 0, we'll call it, 0, we'll call in this one 1. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna add the offset here. Okay, so in theory, I'm going to bring my compile windows. Where is it? It's here. So I'm going to bring in the screen. All right, so I'm going to compile everything, but then I have issues. Can't open file. Oops. No? Oh, that's the one I forgot. I knew there was something missing. The path is wrong. Okay. Okay. All right, so we have, let's see if it compiles. What again? No file, no found. Okay, am I drunk? Okay, let's see again. No, sorry, I speak French. Okay, so what I want to do, okay, I'll take the whole path. We'll figure it out. Oh, okay, it's because it's called graphic assets in that case. All right, how does it work? How's this fare this time? Okay, so there's a warning that I know about because it's always overflowing. He doesn't like it. Okay. How many people watching now? Can somebody reply and tell me how much? If there's anybody left. Okay. It ends with a RTL, so I'm going to do a GSL. Okay. So instead of doing the jumpy boot image init, which I'm going to skip on. Oh, he was actually jumping. Wow, 15. Wow, good. Great, guys. Well, I'm glad there's more than one. Good. Okay, so I'm doing the level load. What comes before that is the file loading of a fake file. So we'll go back to that later. So I have an endless loop. I don't know why. Where did I put my jump? Oh, I put it right at the beginning. Okay, doesn't even bother going to load the damn thing. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put that there just before. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to compile it. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to jumpstart this. I'm going to give you a little bit more screen time here. And the only thing I need to do is just send binary because it's been updated and the software loads always load it. So what does it do? It doesn't do anything. This is dramatic. Ah. Okay, so let's see what's going on. I'll bring this thing back down. So, okay, so I'm going here. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. What is it? I want to make sure that I'm loading the right file. It's been updated at 5:46. It's good. Okay. All right. 8-bit, 8-bit, everything is 8-bit. This is good. Okay, let me reset the system. I'll try that again. It's really weird. You know what? I think I'm gonna get myself a stick or something so I can reset the damn thing from afar. Okay, let's try this again, just in case. It doesn't make any sense. That's really weird. Okay, let's look at the list. We'll look at the list file to see if everything was fine. Let me see, where's the list? Clues, where's the list? I'll load it. Open file. All right. Let's jump into the bit level. Okay, so jump at 40EA, put that in accumulator 8-bit. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that would help. Yeah, but it doesn't explain it. We should see. Yeah, the X should be. Thank you very much. At least one is actually paying attention. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's weird because the mode transfer here should work because obviously it happens before. So I don't know why this is not. This is weird. This is really weird. Okay, we'll compile it again. We'll run it again. What's going on? Okay, what is the stupid thing I'm doing? Okay. So what this listings does say? Okay, so we did I do the okay? Because by the time we get here, we should have the screen should change, and it's not changing. So I'm wondering. So if I look in the list, unless I'm absolutely like knockout drunk, that should work. Okay, the lookup table is 62. This is a 66. That's perfect. Everything is cool. Okay, so let's see if did you set? Yeah, I did. Because, well, I did. Yeah, they're here. It's here. Well, load address. What? Okay, no, this is for something else. So okay, it's here. It worked before. I ran it earlier with the text version. Okay, so I'm gonna do something like just to make sure I'm not going crazy here, like I'm not a super crazy person, because maybe I forgot to save something or I don't know. It seems really weird. So if I do this, I run it. Okay, something's wrong now, because that should work. Okay, what's going on? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's try to do this again. Okay, so tools, uploader, connect. 552 is the load. I'm downloading it. Oh, doesn't want to talk. That's not good. What's going on? Okay, debugging mode, guys. I've inserted this USB connector for so long that it's now loose. That I know. So I connect. Okay, something is really weird now. I'm still here. I'm rebooting. Somebody just doesn't want to cooperate with me today. Just don't want to go along with me. USB problem? I don't know. Usually when the core well, before I put some text, I'll just it should run. Maybe it's too big. Okay, something is really weird now. Okay. Okay, now I'm perplexed. Why is it not? I need to change that, by the way. Yeah, I'm on Windows 10 now, so I don't know. It's but the fact that it cannot communicate, because my other system is Windows 7, so I usually don't have any problem at all. But this is a little bit more tricky, finicky, one would say. Okay, I'm plugging it back. I'm going to restart everything. I'm going to connect. It's weird because before it was COM3 and now it's COM4. Nope. Timeout. The machine just doesn't want to talk. Well, it's kind of a downer. I will re-download the FPGA, the new FPGAs in there. And I will try again. Because I did a demonstration before, it worked. Connect, disconnect, send binary. No, it doesn't want to communicate at all now. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Matt saw it, so it's like I'm not fooling you guys. I'm not trying to make you believe something that is not right. Or it did work. For some reason now it just doesn't want to do it. But again, the serial port was switched from 4 to 5. I hate Windows 10. Can I tell you that I hate Windows 10? I hate it like really deeply. I hate it so much. Device manager. Is there such a thing as a device manager in Windows 10? You know? Oh yeah, there is. Woohoo! Okay, let's see. I have an issue with the PCI thingy, whatever. Yes, you can. What? Thanks, man. Well, I did restart the emulator. Now, okay, let's see. What I'm going to do is that there's a comp3. Oh, that's why, because the comp3. Oh, okay, I get it. I get it. It's because there's many serial ports and I chose the wrong one. Because in my Windows 7 setup, there's only one. So I just need to change it to 3. Oh, that makes more sense. That's why it was not responding, because it was not actually talking to it. There you go. All right, so let's connect, send this little puppy, and it doesn't start. What the hell? Okay, let's keep our calm. Let's keep our calm. Okay, let's. Okay, this is most strange. Okay, see, so if I do this, I'm going to increase the size. Okay, something is really wrong. Even my keyboard doesn't work. This is dramatic, guys. Something happened. Somebody blew my shit. Okay, so if I do graphic 0, 1 actually would be 0, 2 0 okay, let me see in my configuration file, my def file here. So let's say I want to enable the graph mode. That means 7F. Yep, F0F, 020F. There you go. But we're not in graphic, are we? Oh, we're in the overlay. I kept it in overlay. So, if there was some graphic in the back, we would see it. So it never transferred there. Why is it fucking with me like this? You like my moose too? Look, so cool. Okay. So if I try again, okay, let me think. No, it doesn't do anything at all. Let's say if we break it before. I like your enthusiasm, man. It's like, oh, it's actually working. Yeah, that's the idea. It's probably something very stupid. Okay, so I compiled it again. We'll transfer it again. And it does nothing. Oh, I think I know why. Oh, yeah, I know why. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Because my file is so big that I crossed the 64K boundary. That's why. So the reason it happens is because I need to put my shit somewhere else. So I need to put the above the first 64K. So that would make sense now. So it should work now. Because I'm an idiot, you know? If you look at the memory range here, I was going over, so I was probably going over the compiler was putting these bytes in place, but then I was going over it. So now I'm not going over it. So it should work now. Or maybe I'm completely drunk. You know what? That's the reason I wanted to do the loading in the first place, so that I don't have to deal with that kind of shenanigans. Okay, you know what? Let me see. Okay, what we're gonna do? Scale down the file. You're funny. No, I'm just going to load the damn thing, all right. But for now, what we're going to do is just we're going to remove it because you know we can, and you know I feel the need for greed now. I'm going to remove this just to so there won't be any. Oops. No, I'm good. Okay, so what I'm doing here is putting everything in comment. I just want to, seriously, the first thing I want to do now is just to go back to being able to start the damn thing, which you should be able to do. So the compiler will complain about this. No, not about this. We'll complain about this. And it will complain about this. So I'm just going to skip on doing this. I'm going to recompile the dummy. So it says, oh, jump script. Oh yeah, I need to scrap both. Yeah, okay, this one too. Okay, so we're back to 64K, underneath 64K. So let's see if it's going to run now. I'm going to reset that thing. Okay. Okay, there's a breakpoint. Yay! Okay, let's remove the breakpoint. So that means it actually jumps somewhere. You see, I've tried to bypass the system and it failed me. Should have not done that. It was bad of me. Bad mojo for Stephanie. Oh, look! It works! It works! Okay, so let's move on. All right. So we're just going to reload the movie. Remove the bitmap. The movie. Seriously, I seriously need to put a... Seriously, I need to go get a beer or smoke something like a weed, smoke some weed here. That's gonna be great. Okay, so I'll recompile just to make sure. All right, and we're going to get this little puppy and we're gonna send this. So we should have like something, which is right now nothing, which is actually great news. Yay! My lookup table is not set up, so even if there's garbage. So what I'm going to do now is just load the lookup table. So we should see the I swear to God, I need to figure out how to put some bookmark in there so I don't have to scroll down and up like this. Okay. This is all good. What I'm going to do here is unmark this. At this point, the lookup table is only 1K. So this is not going to impact anything. Not now anyway. And what we're going to do here is compile. So we're still, you know, decent size. Okay. That's a bit disappointing. And anticlimactic. Let's do that again just in case. I like to reset my my system every time. No. Okay. The moose doesn't work. That's not a good sign. My God. All hell is breaking loose here. Okay. Well, that's the fun of it, right? Drink up, you burn it. Success. Yes, those are big pixels. Yeah, you bet those are big pixels, all right. Okay, so I've rebooted. I get a black screen, and my mouse doesn't move anymore. Although I do get it to okay, I'll forget about the mouse. I don't think the mouse is a big problem anyway. Okay, let's revise our code. Background is black. I think we should see a pixel at some point. The lookup table 1. There's maybe it was erased before, so I don't know. Okay, so let's see if we can load, if we can place this. How can I go about doing this without, you know, destroying everything? Okay, so if I put it back the other one, maybe I could go a little bit. No, I don't want to go too far. And we'll try it again, just in case. Recount your steps. What did you do before it get ready? Well, yeah, the whole thing is about the fact that my binary file that was included with the rest of the code was going over the reset vectors. So when I ran it, then the reset vector were erased, so it was going nowhere, which made sense. Now I put the lookup table next to the rest of the code, which is because it's just 1K, and the 75K I put at the second page, like page 1 following the page 0. So normally the reset vectors are below that, so I shouldn't be putting anything there, although I feel that, yeah, it's an X file, it should work. Okay, we'll try it this way, and then maybe I will go back into using the loading mechanism first, and then I don't need to do this. Okay, so I have a problem. What's the problem? The problem is that GP level screen doesn't work. GP level screen, level 1 screen. Okay, I missed one. Okay. Yeah, GP. Oh, I forgot to put the, and I forgot to put 1. Okay, so I'm back here. GP level 1 screen, GP level screen. So my mistake. Okay, I think we're good now. So this is good. This is good. And if it doesn't work, then we'll load it first. All right, so let's reset this. Let's bring this puppy. Okay, now we don't have any signal. That's okay. It does start though. It did start. Because we see the screen changing. So I know it starts, but for some reason, which is really, really bugging me right now, I don't see anything. The bitmap is enabled. The sprite, I really don't need the sprite here right now, so we'll get rid of that. Let's keep it simple. So the graphic mode is on. The bitmap mode, I'm going in the low master register. I set the screen to 0. The bitmap is enabled. This is bitmap 1, which is the one at the bottom of the stack. I want to lookup table 1. I'm loading the file in lookup table 1. If we load this, if we go see the list file and we go at the lookup table. Okay, so this is the lookup table. That's weird because there's a value in 0, which you shouldn't have a value in 0. Well, we'll figure this one later. Yeah, that looks like RGBA, 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 RGBA. Actually, maybe it's probably BGR gamma, BGR gamma, BGR gamma. And it doesn't, there's probably most, yeah, they're supposed to have 16 colors in total. I'll have to reshuffle the color palette at some point, but no matter, doesn't matter. We should see pixels, and we don't. We are not seeing any pixel. What is going on? This is really, really, really bugging me. Yeah, Daniel, do you have any idea? King of the Hill. Okay, the mode is being switched. We can see that. Obviously, the 6200 address seems to be good. So if we go in the listing again, if we go into 16 again, yeah, so 62, 0062, this is good. It's been sent into AF24, that's good. There's 1024 bytes, which is good. 4128, this is good. So the lookup table should be there. I think it's the level screen. Oh, this is not good. This is, unless it's an old, oh, that's a deleted version. Yeah, no wonder. It's not the right listing. Where are you? Oh, no list because there's a bug. Oh. Duh. Oh, it's me again because I didn't fix it, so it didn't work. Okay, so that's it. I just got it. Okay, so in theory, there you go. Da 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 da. I saw something. I saw a spark. That's what you saw. I saw a spark. All right. Well, the mouse doesn't work because I stopped everything, so which is normal. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the beginning. So the screen is there. So let's do the same thing for we'll load one sprite, just for fun, and then we can start doing it with the load file, so we can get there. So we'll try to put one sprite like here. I mean, we could do it like, okay, I'm trying to show you my, can I do that? If my mouse worked, I could show you, but anyway, so you see the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to, just for fun, I'm going to set up another lookup table for it's basically the same. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't worry too much about this. Or certainly load the second binary, which is the first file. That's a different directory. Get it. And then we have like a sprite, what was it? Let's make a view here. We won't see the raw, but we'll see the other one. Let's put the fully grown, where are you? Can we have a list here? I don't know. Where's the damn thing? How come I see some, I don't see the others? It's like the preview has been... Seriously? Anyway, you know what? I'll go back in GIMP. So which one? It's number 10. Yay, number 10. All right, so we're going to load number 10 just for fun. So where's the name? 910. Rename. And at 7 I will kind of stop because I'm a bit tired. So .data, I will keep the same palette because in theory it's supposed to be the same thing. So 32 by 32. And I'm going to call this little puppy I will need like an array, binary. Level GP, Jumpman, Sprite, 10. We'll need order. We'll need a lot of order. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do will be very, very simple. I will probably get it off and replace it later, but just out of sake of having fun tonight before I kind of take a break, I would say that I don't need to do this. I will do the same thing here. I will put back 0, 0, 0. It's really for your entertainment at this point. I will put that, normally it would be a B1 to C. So I guess I could put B1 to C as a destination. We'll live dangerously and we'll see how it goes. Compare X, 32 by 32, which is, 1024. BNE, this is very simplistic. We'll call it branch 2. You can see it's very basic, again, nothing fancy. We'll get fancier over time. This is just to load directly in memory, load in the VRAM. So VRAM load of the Sprite 10. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to initialize the sprite. So we will have to go back here. I'm going to re-enable the sprite here in the general configuration register. And I'm going to put this in the Sprite initialization code just a little bit below. We're going to copy and paste it somewhere else, but I'm going to again cheat and hold on. I'm going to go cheat by loading a file that I used before, which is well, that was splash screen, so I just need to have splash screen again. Nothing better than copy and paste your stuff. I don't want to be vulgar, although I'm usually very much so. Okay, so to set up sprites, I'm going to set, I have 64. This demo shows 64, so there's a lot of configuration to do for 64 sprites. Okay, so we'll use this one here. So we begin with the configuration of the Sprite 0 config. Now, in the Sprite case, we're going to say it's lookup table 1. Okay, the dep. The dep is the layer where the Sprite will reside. So dep 0, I think, is the closest to the user. The dep, there's like 8-9 levels. It's okay. So I'm going to load the definition file. So I think it's going to be easier to see. So there's 7 deps where the sprites can be, 8 lookup table. Then what we do is we say, okay, where is the data? Where's the data of the sprite? So in this case, what I'm going to do is set AL. I'm going to use the 16-bit mode to make it simpler here. So I know that this is a 2C. I know this is at 0, 1. And then I'm going to do the ADDI H. Forgot the long. I'm going to set it back to small or 8-bit. So this is where actually, you know what? I'm going to set this first while I am in the 8-bit mode, because I will have to do more 16-bit mode stuff. Because now we're going to set the position of where this little puppy will be. So this is going to be the X. Well, let's put it in the middle of the screen or something. 160 X position and 120 X Y position. So this is always in pixel. And yeah, there you go. That's about it. There's nothing else in sprites. Sprites were really straightforward. Aside of that, there's the priority level. There's 64 sprite. The Sprite 0 is the highest priority. So if you stack them one in the back of the other, the Sprite 0 is the one going to be on the top. But there's also the dep where those sprites are. One thing for sure, if you put the Sprite 0 in dep 6, it will show up in front of all the other sprites below or whatever. I need to test that actually. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, they would be hidden by others. Anyway, you know, I've developed that stuff and I'm not sure what's missing. Oh, yes, thank you very much. I developed that thing and there's still things that I'm not sure how it's going to work. I need to test it. So that's to give you an idea how crazy this thing is. Okay, so I think everything is right. So we're going to put that little spritey in the middle. So we'll see how it goes. So let's compile this little puppy. Everything's good. So, are you excited? Oh, there's a sprite. Look, there's a sprite. It's very big. It's very huge. Not exactly the sprite I had in mind though. Okay. Okay, let's see the reference down. Okay, binary graphic assets. If I load the listing again, no, I didn't load it again. Open file. No, that's not where I want you. I want you here. Okay, it's sprites then. No. Nobody complained. Okay, maybe I'm kind of looking for trouble by putting this thing so close to the other one. What am I missing here? Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was loaded, but again, maybe I'm not loading the right file. There's no error. This thing has a thing for backslashes and slashes, so it's kind of weird. I don't know which way to go about this. Okay, all right. 12C0. So this is the sprite. We can see it here. It's kind of nice. You see the legs and everything. However, maybe the palette, no, that's not a palette, the graphic is wrong. Okay. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. 0 2C, 2C0. You know what? Let's do something. Let's put it at 3000. Let's not get in trouble for nothing. Did you write? Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure. So I'll put it farther away. I'll probably be better off this way. Okay, so if I'm running this again, oops. Let's reset it. Okay, what's wrong? What is wrong? What is wrong? Okay, what am I missing? What am I missing? Okay, so Matt, you say, oh, the sprite is in the code. Is that what you meant? I didn't see the visual. Yeah, it's the graphic of the sprite is in the code. So before we start loading it with a file, the idea was to put it in the code, and then I'll get it out. But it should be as easy as bring in the bitmap, which is also in the code. And Daniel, you say, what's in the sprite address register? Well, that's the thing. The sprite 0, which is enable lookup table 1, because in theory it should be the same thing, but even at that point it's not a problem of color, it's a problem of location. So the address, if I go into the sprite definition, this is the address pointer low, this is the pointer address high. I'm in 8-bit here, so that should be working great. And it's 01 because I am a B1, but this is always from Wiki perspective. So what else? What am I missing here? What am I missing? Anybody else seeing something I don't see? Sprite enable. So Sprite enable is there. The listing says, if I go at GM branch 2, so 12.2c seems to be the address where everything is. I'm loading it at 3000. There's 32 pixels, so 400. And it goes here, so which is good. The X was zeroed out. The compare is good. Then I write 3, which is the enable plus lookup table, which is good. Then I write 01 and 03, and then I write 3001. Is it 01? Yeah, 01, 02. I mean, I can do it separately if I need to. 220 enough, 16-bit. Well, but that's the thing. Listen, I can do it this way. Just for fun, out of just curiosity, I'll just do it this way, just to, you know, satisfy me. Well, normally I would put this guy here. And then I would put this guy here, and then there you go. So 01, 3, 3, 0 here, low, medium, high. This is pretty straightforward. All right, let's see if this is working. Because there's definitely the include for Sprite 10. What do you mean does the include for Sprite 10? Hold on, I will try this to see if it works. I'll reset it. No? Okay. Okay, the include is, the Jumpman 0 is here. But again, maybe I should put it somewhere else. The listing says the whole thing finishes at 2 FFFF, which makes sense. C00. I don't know. Okay, you know what? I'll change the range here. I'm not completely. I'll put it like, I don't know, 2.5. Okay, so 2PF, it should have worked. Well, let's put it to 225 just for fun. Yeah, Daniel, yes, I can find the stuff in the if I go into the Jumpman Sprite 10, the asset is here. You can see it actually. You see the feet? It's 32 by 32. The data is good. The file is good. Well, the data is good. So I put it at 35. Is that 25? Did I put at 35? Why did I? It's not. Why does it show 35? No, it's here. 25. Okay. All right. Let's try this. Let's try this without resetting it. I don't know why I keep doing this. Okay, we have something. Certainly different. Okay, something is wrong, really wrong. I think I know why. I think. We'll put it at 225. I think it's a matter of thing, but I need to... Okay. Well, I'm doing something wrong. No, it's 5,000 here. 0 to 5,000, like this. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. No, same thing. Why am I missing? What am I missing? Wow. The location is good. Well, guys, I'm a bit confused. 0 to 500. The definition of a sprite doesn't require anything else. I mean, I can change the depth just for the fun of it, just in case I've done something stupid. Okay. All right. I'm okay. We'll try it. We'll see. I don't think it should change anything, but you never know. No. What am I doing wrong? If I go back into my example, I set the low, medium pointer. I set the Y position, X position. This is good. And that's about it. Then I repeat for the other sprites, and the actual data has been stored as 05 at 5,000. No, actually at I'm just changing addresses just in case to see if I'm not miscalculating my stuff. It should not, but we never know. This is so weird. I must be doing something really stupid right now. Okay, let's change sprite. Let's put another sprite just for fun. Never know. Nope, I'll reset it. It all looks, yeah, it does look fine. For some reason, something is not right. Something is not right. Why? The only possible explanation is the fact that I'm sending so much data at the same time that the lookup tape, the FIFO gets overwhelmed, which means that I would have to go and wait before sending the second data, or send it first. You know what? We'll try that. Look at this. Let's see how Mama Stephanie is going to do something really, really nasty. Because it does happen, because the FIFO between the SRAM and VRAM, there's a FIFO when you're doing single write to the VRAM. The problem is that there's only a limited amount of time to transfer that data off to the VRAM because it's so busy capturing the data. And again, it uses the early vertical blanking to do a lot of transfer, but the video system works 100 megahertz. The CPU works at 14. So you can send a lot of 14 megahertz byte And then the problem is that if it gets really busy, then the FIFO, you might actually have time to catch up the 256. I think there's 256. Or maybe there's a 1024 1K, whatever. You can catch up the video, and then it's since I'm sending so much data at first, then it might be a reason why it doesn't get through. So that's why I use the VRAM, the VDMA to do the transfer. I'm gonna do that next. Matt Mayer's gonna have to go. I believe in you. When are you going to do a stream? Honestly, I don't know. Soon. I will do way more next week. I will let people know. Go on Discord. I don't know how it would be the best way to let people know on Twitter or something. I'm doing pretty well on Twitter, so you can find me. Get there. Next time I'll advertise more, since it was just a test. But I don't know about this week. But I'll start to do them regularly next week. That's for sure. So stay tuned, and like I said, Discord, Twitter is probably the best way to reach me, and to see what I'm going to, when I'm going to do it. All right, you should stay for 2 seconds to see if this is going to work, and we'll go from there. But I'm sure by changing everything, I just did a stupid thing again. Okay, that didn't change anything. This is really freaking me out. How is it even possible? Okay, now I'm freaked out. I'm freaked out. Okay, I'm doing something really stupid right now. Or something, it's something that just occurred to me, which is really weird. Something is wrong. Something is really wrong, because well, it looks wrong. Okay, because there would be 8 bytes. Oh, that's the thing. So 8 bytes before. So this is one line. Okay, that seems to be. I don't know. It's B5. I'm the farthest away I can be from anything. X is back to 0. The compare is good. I mean, I can put, So if they want me to be so literal, which is the same thing as to say, what am I? This is the right data. It's just not obvious like this. And the listing says, well, I'm in the listing. So if I'm going at GM branch 2, then the branch is good. So I'm going from 2,500 here, or 2,000, well, whatever. 25,000 to B5 here, which is okay. And then I set the level here to, I'm seeing 0.5, which is the same thing. The position is good. If I move the position, everything is good. So what is wrong? Now I change sprites. This is really mysterious. Unless okay, you know what? We've been skipping on something, and I'm not sure that we should have skipped on it. Because I went and assumed that they were the same, but maybe they are not the same. So I'll do this. I'll do this. I will bring this here, go back up there. I'm going to we'll use lookup table 0 and we'll define this little puppy here as lookup sprite lookup 0. We'll go back to sprite 0 because everything else seems to be perfect. So the only possible explanation is that the first lookup table is not a match to the second one, which, you know, assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups, right, guys? Should be pretty obvious to me since I've been doing this shit for a long time. Look at that. Okay, that explains it. Okay, so we have the right sprite. Well, first of all, it's too fucking big. Sprite depth 0, sprite enable. Okay, what do you mean? SP01? Okay, turn off. Well, I started with SB01, so I started with SP01. But let's turn the other one off. So I was trying. Anyway, never mind. Okay, so we were good. I was right. So the sprite was right, but it's just not the right sprite, and I don't know why. Because the sprite number 10 here, which one is that? Sprite 11, Sprite 10, Jumpman Sprite 10. Why do I got like Jumpman Sprite 28? Holy crap, they're not even in order. Okay, so 28 is the one there, Sprite 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jumpman underscore right. Okay, how is it even possible? Okay, let's look in the file to see. You know, photos. Okay, so that's. Okay, so this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 10. Jumpman sprites 10. Okay, and if I have to do it again, I'll do it again. So this is Jumpman sprite 10. And if I export it again, I'm thinking, I think I have an idea. It's just that we'll use raw this time. I will tell it straight to its face. Export BMP style. That's okay. You know, something that is weird is that if we go here in the listing and we go into the data in the list file, thank you. And then we go to the other one next. But you see, it's all zeros before. So for some reason, it's not loading the file, because otherwise, if there was pattern, it showed us the pattern. So let's say we recompile it again. Oh, there you go. You see, it's all there now. It's my conversion in raw that just left some Maybe I didn't convert the right thing. So if I run it now, it shall be there. There you go. The damn thing is just fucking too big, but yeah, it's great. It's just too fucking big. Dude, I'll have to make this in like 640 by 480. Okay, so which means that when I have sprites like they are, now I'm thinking, yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, I know, right? It's really fun. That's true, Daniel. It's like the fun part of. Yeah, but it was a great exercise. Well, we're turning 10. I think I'm going to end this today. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it this way and come back later to keep going with the loading of the files through the kernel. I think it's well, because right now the sprite is 16 by 16. No, the graphic in the sprite is 16 by 16 into a 32-bit 32 by 32 sprites, which is half the size. But because of the doubling mode, then it brings up back to 32 by 32. So it means that the 32 by 32 ends up being freaking 64 by 64. Does it make any sense? It's doubling the size of every pixel. So it's like the sprite size should be... No, it's not the correct size. Have you seen the thing of that size of that thing? No, it's not the right size. It's twice as big. I don't know, there's something wrong about it. Because if I go into Sprite, you see, so this is let me reduce the size of this. So this is the sprite 32 by 32. I don't know. That's the thing. It's 32 by 32. So this is the size of the sprite, but every sprites get twice as big. So in reality, I should shrink that back down to... It should be smaller than that. So that means that I would have to... I think I can actually reduce the size. Transform... flip. I think I can... We'll try to do it this way. Okay, we'll try to do it this way. Whoops, not exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, so if I do this and I do this, this is how it should be. Literally a quarter of the size. So then I have to center it like this. So this is how it should be. And then it's going to be doubled up, which is going to be the size it should be. So I need to re-edit all of them. Yeah, that's the thing. But it means that there's a big sprite, although it doesn't matter because it's transparent, so we really don't care. So there's no collision if there's no sprite. So no, I'm not going to do that. I'll do that offline. I need to do it, but at least it's important to realize that you need to keep your sprites, you know, twice as small in double pixel mode, twice as small. So otherwise they're going to be twice as big. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being with me. I don't know how many people left. How many people did we get? I should look at my specs, my stuff. So I'll let everybody know. And I will do more, way more. So it's just the beginning. I'll try to be a little bit more prepared. try to have a working machine at this point. So I will see you all soon. Thank you very much. If you want to leave some comments or anything, send the word, or, you know, pass the word. I'll do way more of this, and I'll keep you updated about everything else. All right, guys, I'll see you soon, and I will talk to you later. Bye, Daniel. Dubious Crisp, good night. Yeah, well, you're welcome. I'll try to survive this time. We'll try to make this a real success. With 100% of my time, I think it should be a lot better, although we never know what's going to happen on the side. All right, thanks again, guys. We'll talk more soon.